the most delicious eggplant recipe in the world. Hi my dear friends! At least for me, growing up by the Black Sea, it was the most delicious eggplant recipe. I want to specify, it wasn't the most delicious recipe for me when I was a child, because children don't really like vegetables, but when I grew up, I really loved this recipe. And when I was growing up, I really liked asking my mom how to cook different dishes, especially cakes. But this one is about vegetables, and I also asked her mom how to cook this dish, and she taught me. This dish actually is taking a little bit of time to prepare. I'm going to be using only fresh vegetables, no cans. Let's begin. For this recipe, we will need 2 kilograms of eggplant, this beautiful, beautiful eggplant. We will need 1 kilogram of very ripe tomatoes for slicing on top of the eggplant, and we will also need 1.5 kilogram of ripe tomatoes for the sauce. The next ingredient is bell pepper. I love using different colors, so here's red, green and yellow. And we need total of 500-600 grams for this recipe. I also wanted to notice that I'm using double batch of all the vegetables because I just love this dish. So you can use just half, it will be easier to cook and faster. The next ingredient is onions, 3 small onions or 2 large onions, total of 400 grams of onions. 300 grams of peeled carrots. We also will need about 400 grams of olive oil. You can use any vegetable oil. I prefer olive oil for any kind of vegetable dish. Also we will need salt, and I'm not measuring how much salt we'll need, and you will understand why when I show it to you. And also we will need some dry oregano, black pepper and some fresh dill. Now let's put the eggplant aside and we'll begin with making our beautiful sauce. And first for the sauce we need to grate the carrots. I'm actually making today double batch because it's summer and we have so many vegetables, and some vegetables are growing in our beautiful garden, so it's a very, very nice thing to do right now, to make a double batch. And then you have it for a couple of weeks. Also, making double batch will make your muscles grow a little bit stronger. It's like a gym, you just don't have to go anywhere. Whew, that's some workout right here. So we're done with the carrots. Let's jump onto the onions. Actually, I'm gonna do onions last because they make you cry sometimes, and I don't want to cry right now. So the next step is bell peppers, these beautiful bell peppers. For the sauce, we need to chop them pretty finely. Our red pepper is ready. Let's do the yellow one. I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I loved learning from my mom how to cook, and from my grandmother as well. And my mom, she had a very interesting system of teaching me how to cook. She would always say to me in the morning, when I get home, you have to prepare onions, peppers, tomatoes, you have to wash them, and then you can cut them when I get home. So it was all in steps. When I was 12 years old, I would wash vegetables and cut them. When I was 14 years old, she would allow me to cook something in the first step. So it was like a whole, yearly growing and learning system. So we're done with the peppers, and now this rainbow of peppers is going to be combined with the carrots. Yellow and green and red. Please remember to save this video if you would like to recreate this recipe. Also, please remember to like this video, it really helps my channel, and subscribe if you would like to see all the new recipes that come out first. And now it's onion time. I hope I'm not gonna cry too much. And now just chop it a little bit smaller. Now we're combining our vegetables with onions, and all these vegetables are for the sauce. So now we need to grind tomatoes. You can use your regular grinder, cut tomatoes in half and just grind them into your bowl. I'm gonna use KitchenAid just because I like using it and it's way more simple. So whichever you would prefer, just pick one. For this meat grinder, I cut tomatoes in quarters. It will be easier. Let's start it. And we don't need to peel tomatoes because they will be sauteed for an hour and a half. Don't push too hard so you can avoid splashing tomatoes all over the countertop. This whole meal prep is easily replacing a gym visit. Just actually pressed a couple times too hard, so it's a little bit messy in here, but it's a normal cooking process. You can cook and not to be messy, a little bit. So we're all done with tomatoes, and this is a beautiful bowl of ground tomatoes. And it's going to be a lot of wonderful sauce. Now I'm gonna clean a little bit of mess I made with these tomatoes, and I'll be right back with you. Everything is ready for the most delicious Russian or Mediterranean eggplant recipe. We have our chopped onions, peppers, carrots, and our tomatoes. So I'm gonna combine it in the Dutch oven. It will be easier to cook. Just like this. And tomatoes go on top. I mentioned that I didn't put any garlic, but I will put garlic about 30 minutes before the sauce is ready. Now I'm going to combine all the veggies in the Dutch oven. And like I said, this sauce will spend about an hour and a half on a very slow fire. I'm using an induction stove, so it doesn't make really a difference. It just has to be very slowly simmering for about an hour and a half. It smells wonderful. When the vegetables are mixed, let's take them to the stove. It smells delicious already, and it's pretty heavy. Like I said, you don't need a gym on a day when you cook this dish. We'll start with a higher temperature, just don't burn it, and then we'll go to low simmer. As soon as it starts simmering slowly, leave it for about an hour and a half, and just make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom, which Dutch oven it shouldn't. I'm also going to add a couple spoons of olive oil. You can add it in the beginning, but this sauce doesn't really stick. And while our sauce is thickening here for about an hour and a half, we're gonna get back to eggplant. So the eggplant, we need to cut it in about 1 centimeter or ½ inch, a little bit less than ½ inch. We're gonna cut off this bottom part and the green part as well. And we're making very nice, even circles like this. They look very nice, very aesthetically pleasing. You don't want them to be thick. We will be cooking them for a long time, but still you don't want them to be thick. And please remember to like this video. I'm trying really hard to make it the best way for you. And if you, for any chance, don't like the way it comes out for you, you can always take that like away. But I will highly appreciate your likes. So this is the thickness of the actual eggplant that we need to cut. Again, it's about ½ inch. A little bit thinner than ½ inch. You want to cut this upper part out because this part is usually very harsh. And now just slice them. It is a wonderful time of year, summer. Eggplant, zucchini. I'm going to be making zucchini next time. And I have some wonderful recipes with zucchini. Okay, this is the last eggplant. And it's not as much work when you think of it. I mean, it's pretty physical like you saw before, but it's not as much work. So now we need to salt it. And we need to salt each piece because eggplant has a little bit of bitterness in it. And by salting it for 2 hours, we're gonna get rid of this bitterness and excessive water as well. So now let's salt the eggplant. Just put it in one layer like this. I use pink salt. Again, like I said before, I really love pink salt. And just generously salt it on one side. And then we're gonna put it into the bowl. Bowl goes here so you can see, and salt it from another side. This is a pretty quick one. You just salt them, you leave them for 2 hours, you come back, you wipe them with a towel, and they're ready to be cooked. Just like that. More salt on top. You want to make sure that you salted them really, really well. This way we also don't need to salt them while cooking. They will have enough salt in them already. This is the last batch of our eggplant. Generously salting, turning them inside. so we don't lose any of the salt. And these 2 bowls of eggplant are ready for now. We're gonna keep them for 2 hours in salt, and then we'll gently wipe them with a towel, and I will show you what to do next. But I will meet you in about 45 minutes when it's time to add garlic to our sauce. So it's been an hour. It's getting thicker. You can add garlic by taste. I made in like 8 small cloves, so you can add just 4 cloves of garlic. Or you can add 2, or you can add 20. It depends on your taste. Now all this garlic goes to the pan. So I did the garlic, and I'm gonna simmer it for 30 more minutes. So our sauce has been cooking for an hour and a half, and it's now nice and thick. So I'm going to turn it off now, and we will go to our eggplant, next step. It's been 2 hours, and our salted eggplant produced a lot of water. As you can see how much water came out of it, and bitterness. So I'm going to wipe now all the slices of the eggplant. When I was growing up, we used towels, but now I'm gonna use probably just a paper towel, so I don't have to wash it and leave brown spots on it. Each circle, each slice, one at a time, just like this. And it's dry and nice. When your paper towel gets wet, throw it away. Nice dry eggplant like this. And I'm gonna show it to both of these cameras as well. And the funny part is, when I was a child, I really didn't like this dish. When I grew up, I loved it. I learned pretty much all my recipes from my mom and from my grandma. And they were great cooks, especially for cakes. Oh, my mom was making cake every Sunday, actually every Saturday. And those were all different cakes. I promise I'll make for you some of those cakes. You need to enjoy your food. And sometimes a little slice of cake, it's pretty normal. It's pretty good. Especially if the cake is delicious. Okay, so all the eggplant is dry, and now let's fry it. Let's go to the stove. And you can see also how much of like brown liquid, so all this bitterness and liquid is now on the bottom of this bowl. Okay, so let's go fry our eggplant. Actually, I had to take a break yesterday, so I put all my vegetables in the fridge, like this eggplant. I dried it and put it in the fridge, and my sauce went to the fridge. So it basically tells you that you can make it in 2 days. You don't have to spend several hours making this dish in 1 day. It's way easier to do in 2 days. But then again, you're not spending an hour and a half next to the stove while sauce is cooking. You walk away and you do other things. And the same thing happens when we will be finishing to cook our most delicious eggplant dish in the world. Right now we're gonna prepare tomatoes. We're just gonna slice them thinly, and the next step will be frying our eggplant. It's all dry. It actually let go more bitterness and liquid overnight. I have 4 pounds of tomatoes here, so I'm gonna slice them thinly, and these tomato slices are gonna go over the eggplant slices. And while I'm slicing these tomatoes, please let me know in the comments if you would like me to cook something else from Russian traditional cuisine. It could be anything from cakes to appetizers to soups. Just ask me in the comments and I would love to do that. The more ripe your tomatoes, the better. It will be easier to cook and they will be more aromatic and tastier, of course. Our tomatoes are done. Here's a whole tower of beautiful sliced tomatoes. So now it's time to fry our eggplant. I'm gonna show you how. Come with me. So now we're going to fry eggplant. I have 2 frying pans here and olive oil. Like I said, we're gonna use about probably 400 milliliters total of olive oil. A couple tablespoons of olive oil per pan. Since I put my eggplant to the fridge yesterday, I pulled it in advance a little bit, so eggplant will be a little bit warmer, so it spent about half an hour outside. So it's pretty much the room temperature right now. And I'm gonna dry them a little bit more because during the night they let go more liquid, and they actually right now perfect. And I'm gonna put as many as this pan fits in. And we're gonna fry it on about 6-7 on the induction stove, and the second pan as well. We need for the eggplant to become soft and have a little bit of crispy outside. I'm going to be wiping them one more time though, because I had to break my cooking process in 2 days. See, like they became so soft and moist again, so I need to wipe them a little bit more. I'm gonna prep my next batch here while the first one is frying. And I'm gonna just check them. By checking them like this, you can see that there is not enough olive oil. We want the olive oil to spread very evenly on the eggplant. So when I turn them, I'm gonna actually add a little bit more olive oil. And I use a very good Greek olive oil. This is my favorite. I love Greek food, so and this dish is kind of Mediterranean / Russian, so I'm using very Greek good olive oil. So now I'm going to give a little bit more olive oil to this eggplant. And turn them. And you can see how it starts being crispy and kind of a little bit smoked. That's what we want. We don't want to burn it completely, but we want it a little bit smoked. And we want them to become soft. You can just move them a little bit like this. If you feel like there is not enough olive oil, add a little bit and move them just a little bit this way. Let's check our eggplant on the other side. Eggplant's getting way softer. You just need to feel them. If they became soft, pull them and put them on a plate. If they're still kind of harsh, fry them a little bit longer. These three are ready. So you can see that the eggplant has become much softer, and I'm about to pull it. You can just swish it and see how soft it is. Okay, let's go for the next batch. So pretty much everything is ready. We just need to finish frying this eggplant, and I will be right back with you. Please don't forget to click that like button. It really helps my channel, and it really stimulates me to make more wonderful recipes for you. This is about how they look. A little bit kind of like they're from the grill. Our fried eggplants are ready, and now I'm going to assemble the actual dish for the final stage of cooking. So now I have all the ingredients for my final, most amazing and most delicious eggplant dish ready here. The fried eggplant already looks yummy. I really want to try one. And sliced tomatoes, and here's some sauce that we cooked yesterday. So now I'm going to assemble the actual dish before we send it to cook for 1.5 hours. And we will not need to do anything. We don't have to stir or anything. We just leave it on a very slow fire for 1.5 hours. That's pretty much it. The first thing I do, I just add a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of the pan. Then we add a little bit of sauce on the bottom and kind of like smoosh it around. First layer will be eggplant. Let me put it a little bit closer. Eggplant is way softer, so it's much easier to pack with an eggplant. Next layer is going to be tomatoes. Cover it generously with tomatoes. We have plenty of them. That's why we had 2 pounds of tomatoes. Now we take about 1/5 of this sauce. It's pretty generously, I would say. Now 1 more layer of eggplant. This is very, very beautiful. This is so colorful. More sliced tomatoes. If you have sliced tomatoes left, you can just use them for salad or for frittata, whatever you would like to cook. Just put them in the fridge and make them later. And now we're using 1/4 of this sauce again. This is a deliciously smelling sauce, because remember we made it with some garlic, with onions. And eggplant smells delicious. The whole dish is. It is very Mediterranean, even though it is a very traditional Russian dish, but it smells very Mediterranean. More eggplant, so we need to fit it into 2 more layers here. More tomatoes. Fresh tomatoes are also smelling really good. Wow, it smells absolutely delicious. Smoosh this sauce over. and the last layer of eggplant. So we need to fit all of this eggplant in here, and it's going to fit just perfect. I already can see it. More tomatoes on top. This is the thick one. I'm actually gonna leave it for salad. And this is the rest of the sauce. I'm just gonna spread it all evenly on top. And please remember to save this video. You can also put a like. I will highly appreciate that. My delicious sauce. Like I said, it will be on the stove for an hour and a half. It will be just slow cooking. You can actually use slow cooker if you wish. You can just use it for about 3 hours, but I like it better to do on the stove. That's the recipe I grew up with. So this is the way my grandma and my mom was doing it. And this is the way I'm doing it as well. By the way, right now it is Peter and Paul preparation time, so we don't eat meat. And the best way to eat this amazing dish will be with some bread. I'm also making sourdough bread right now, and I will share with you a recipe how to make sourdough with different types of flour. I make sourdough with high protein flour, with artisan flour. I make all kinds of sourdough bread, and my husband loves it, and I love it, and all our friends love it. So let's get this on the stove. It's pretty heavy. Dutch oven is a really great thing because it usually doesn't get burned. I can hear how it's starting to get warmer. Please remember, no mixing. No mixing for the whole hour and a half. And as soon as it starts simmering, I'm actually going to bring temperature to probably about 7. As soon as it starts simmering, you can set your clock for 90 minutes for an hour and a half. And we will be just waiting for this wonderful smell and then for the wonderful taste as well. So I totally forgot to put any pepper. I'm going to put it on a little bit on top. And then we will just add some salt and pepper for our taste in process of eating it. We just need for the bubbles to show up on all the sides. It takes usually about like 7 to 10 minutes. So now it's bubbling on both sides, and now it's a good time to cover it with a lid. And we'll set our timer for an hour and a half, 90 minutes. And I'm gonna turn the stove to 2. You can turn it to 1. It has to be very, very slow cooking. And I'm gonna bring this heavy but delicious beauty to my table. This is a lot of exercise with this dish, or you need helpers. It looks and smells absolutely delicious, and we're gonna give it a taste. And as I promised you, I'm gonna show you my homemade sourdough bread. We're gonna taste both. I'm gonna taste both, but then in the next video I will show you how to make sourdough bread. So I'm gonna just scoop some from the top. And this is how beautiful it is. Oh, the smell. So I'm going to taste it with my homemade sourdough bread. It's still warm. I just pulled it out of the stove. And look at how beautiful it is. It is actually high protein bread and stone milled bread. So here's a slice of bread I'm getting myself. And my most amazing and most delicious eggplant in the world. And like I said, I forgot to put pepper, salt, and some spices, so I'm gonna do it right now. I'm just gonna pepper it a little bit and put just a little bit of salt. And we're gonna give it a taste. Absolutely delicious. And this taste of childhood. And me making it in my childhood. It's very good. You can eat it with everything. You can eat it with bread. You can just add it on your dinner plate, which we're probably going to be having it for dinner. A delicious layered eggplant dish that tastes like summer. So I'm going to make one more sandwich like this for my husband. And we will be having dinner like this today with this most amazing and delicious eggplant dish in the world. Thank you for cooking with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, save it, try making it at home. From my family's table to yours. Happy cooking and keep it tasty like this delicious eggplant.